Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It is Monday. We got to set the tone for the week. We got football, we got hoops, we got sharp market insight. I'm always John, joined by Dan, who's wearing a Guinness shirt. He enjoyed a Guinness last night, a proper Guinness.
Can't go wrong. A properly poured
man.
Irish pub. They know how to do it. You know, you got to let it settle and everything. Feeling good on a Monday, Andy. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. We hit a 5% NFL yesterday. Woke up to a 4% cricket winner. Went 3-1 in darts already this morning. So it's noon and we're already doing very, very well. The week's off to a good start, which was much needed. So,
and you well know, yes. Yeah, you well know, and folks who watch this show know, when you get to start the week off on the right foot, it just puts you in the right mindset to like cap games. It's not like you're fighting from behind. So I'm glad to hear you got a little pep in your step. And I'm also glad to hear that it is Monday here on the program. Got another full week of shows coming your way. No more days off, folks. We're going to be here grinding with you all along the way. On today's show, you know what we got going. Gianni The Greek is going to kick it off with us, talk a little steam report, see what we're seeing in some of these college football bowl games or, the playoff games, obviously, that are coming up. And, of course, talk Monday Night Football. Teddy Covers filling in for the illustrious Steve Merrill. So we're going to do a Rams and Falcons deep dive with him. He's also got a show up on the channel you can check out right now. He's fresh off of opening line report. We're going to do a little NBC doubleheader with him in NBA, Cavs, Spurs, Mavs, Trail Blazers. And we're talking with Bill Krackomberger. He's got to get you an NBA prop, maybe a Monday Night Football prop. And we'll be talking some thoughts here in football as well. So a quasi-football Monday to start off with a touch of basketball. Free plays all along the way. WTF or LFG, and Andy's going to take you all around the world, buddy. So nothing to it but to do it. Let's get into it, brother.
All right, let's bring on Gianni. Gianni, happy Monday. Always good to see you. How was your weekend, sir?
Wonderful. Hit a 5% in college football, my first and only college football 5% of the bowl season to date. That was on the bowl game. I got to play all 5% coming up for subscribers in the next few days. What else? It's great steam room. 5 premiums I released in the NFL yesterday, early games and 4 p.m. games. Went 4-1 and gave out 5 props, premium props. 4 of those hit as well in the steam room. So ended up going 8-2 on premiums in the steam room and a free prop that hit. So we had over 1,500 people that joined us. Hopefully they made money off of that hour and an hour plus they spent with me. So really good end to the week and excited to end the year strong, brother. It's that time of the year and looking forward to 2026. Another chance to, move forward and progress like we all want to do.
All right, I'm going to guess what your 5% play was. I love doing this. Dan knows I'm a nerd for this. It was it Penn State?
Yeah, Penn State.
Oh, I did not.
That was my points are for Pussies Bowl. That was the points are for Pussies Bowl. That was. Like if you
honestly,
needed to take the points in that one, if you don't know who the better team on the field is, you're doing it wrong.
The crazy thing is with how all these bowls are named, like I won't be shocked if there's a points are for Pussies Bowl next year. Not gonna lie. Don't be surprised. Brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. It's coming your way. It's
Penn State just got there for us.
Oh, that's amazing. I was like, that Penn State sounds right up Yanni's alley.
Those are the best when they come in like that, and you almost never sweat it, wire to wire.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's let me get your thoughts on what you've seen in bowl season so far. I've had a couple plays. We've done well. We've been focusing on team totals. Oh yeah, in the chat, Army was easy money. Yeah, we cashed a good one on the Army team total in that one. What have you noticed in bowls so far?
No real surprises. Meaning, like you expect teams to give effort in bowl games. You expect the back door to be open for some of these dogs, like we saw. I was on the wrong side of one. I had North Texas. They seemed like the right side for a lot of that game, but the back door stays open in bowl season. It's kind of following what we see year in and year out. A lot of conclusions drawn are mistaken. A lot of the rankings, the final rankings are off because they're based on the record. And it should be because these teams make bowl games based on their records. meaning you got to win a certain amount of games to make the bowls. So if you're able to win a lot of games, you're going to be in the rankings. But all that has to do with conference, has to do with strength of schedule. And as sports bettors, we're able to take advantage. So it's kind of been a normal bowl season to date for me, and what I'm seeing from the groups that I work with, it's been profitable, which I expect each and every bowl season. And it really starts to take form this next week. Like with the playoffs, I think now it'll really get a lot more exciting. Because the format's changed, where before it was you look forward to that bowl season with college football, most notably New Year's Day. But that's changed now with the playoffs. So it's a little bit different. And I think now it'll start to pick up as far as the excitement level, because we're about to crown a national champion real soon.
Let's do Monday Night Football here real quick. I guess the big thing was after last night's game, the Rams kind of don't have a whole lot to play for. I look at this game like the Rams are going to play everybody their normal usage. McVay said that this morning in an interview. So are we seeing any big change with the markets? I noticed the player props haven't moved really at all. So those markets are telling me.
Yeah, here's the situation. And I mean, listen, everybody knows it. You don't need to hear it from me. You have the Rams, which are the number one team in the NFL power rating wise. In fact, I actually bet a future on them 2 days ago at plus 450 to win the Super Bowl. I just happened to be in a casino that had the lineup at 450. I was hoping to get at plus 500, but they had plus 450. I had some money on me and I laid it only because I had just gotten my updated power ratings, and they're a 1.5 point better than the second best team, which is Seattle. And they're about a field goal better than the third best team, which is San Francisco. And at the end of the day, you're giving me 4-1 on a team that nobody in the field is better than. I got to take it. And I put a future on the Rams, obviously. Now, tonight's game means nothing except for seeding. So, again, it doesn't matter for the playoffs. Obviously, you want better seeding if you want to win a Super Bowl. So I expect the Rams to show up, and on paper, they're the much better team. They're the number one offense. They're a top 10 defense, and they've had the number one strength of schedule. That's the reasons that I bet them in the future market. And then I also have a quarterback that's number 2 in passing success rate. You can't get better team on paper than all of that data. You just can't. So the Rams are the best team in the NFL. And the thing with Atlanta is, what are they playing for? Pride, primetime game, Monday Night Football. That's about it, right? But they already had that earlier in the season where they had more or less nothing to play for, and it was a big Monday night game. I remember because I cashed the ticket on them with that narrative that it really matters. They hadn't had a Monday night game for a couple of years in Atlanta, and it was a big deal. That's gone now. That's gone. So for me, I taking Atlanta is tough to do, but power rating wise, it's the right side. And that's where I'm having difficulty getting to because I do think power rating wise, Atlanta is the right side. The Rams should not be this big of a favorite on the road against Atlanta, but it's hard to quantify motivation. And if Atlanta finds themselves 10 points behind, 14 points behind, are they going to give me that effort for the whole 60 minutes that I want from an underdog? That's where I got to get to between now and kickoff. Because when you look at Atlanta, they're barely in the, a 25th offense, 25th defense. They had a 25, 26th strength of schedule. It's a weak football team. But in the NFL, we know that the point spread is the great equalizer. And I do think the line's a little bit too high. But, I got to see if I could get to the window with Atlanta. But I do like the total a lot. If I'm able to confirm it, check within the next 60 minutes if it's up on WagerTalk, because tonight's game, the primetime pimp sees a 5% possibility in this game. It's set up nicely. But again, we got hours between now and kickoff. But that's where it stands. I think the Rams will be heavily teased. I think the books will need Atlanta when this game kicks off. No surprise. They usually need the dog on primetime anyway. But this sets up for a teaser at 7.5. And that's what I talked about in the steam room with my subscribers yesterday. There was only one side on Sunday that was teasable. And the only other thing you could tease it with was the Rams on Monday night. So hopefully some guys got Rams at, -1.5 for tonight. That's a good bet. Again, I think they are teaser if it gets the 7.5 across the board. If not, then it doesn't fall under there, and I'll probably just sit on my total.
I got a 5% in this game tonight. I love it. You know me, I focus on props. So it's my first 5% of prime time of the entire season. Yeah, it's a player prop. Yeah, I love it. This game, this game has so many soft lines on it. I'm pretty stunned. So I'm locked and loaded, ready. We do have a question here in the chat. Dan, you want to pull this one up? It's about Bama and Indiana. Is that right?
Yeah. He's wondering thoughts. I mean, obviously, he's hoping that you're going to tell him that there's a live barking dog because Smooth with the Alabama Crimson Tide logo. I'm seeing
you told on yourself.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you what my power rating is right now.
Painted. Yeah.
Power rating, neutral field. It's exactly 5.5. 5.5. Indiana's 5.5 points better than Alabama. And the edge is both in offense and on the defensive side of the ball, meaning they have the advantage offensively and they have the advantage defensively. And their strength of schedule is really respectable. They have an 18th strength of schedule, and Alabama had the 4th toughest strength of schedule in college football. So for Indiana to be 13-0 and have a top 20 strength of schedule, and with that produce a top 3 offense, top 3 defense, this team's legit. They're number 2 on my power ratings, and they deserve it. I have a future on Alabama, and I'm really can't hedge this. Luckily, I also have a future on Ohio State. That's why I'm going to let it ride, the Alabama one and Ohio State, and it's for the same amount to win 25 units. But I don't expect to win that. I do think Indiana's the better team, and they should be about a 5.5 point favorite in this game. So if you could get 7, if they drive it to there, I think the value's on Alabama. But I don't think, on paper at least, Indiana is the much better team.
I was going to say, I'm looking at DraftKings right now, and it is 7. DraftKings has moved to 7.
Yeah, I think line value is in Alabama. Line value is Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, it's painted 7. I mean, circa what they're hanging, even money on it. So you can call it, 6.75, I guess. But basically 7's across the marketplace there. Yeah, I'm also wondering, I mean, since we segued into it here, what else are we doing here? Thoughts here on the college football playoffs? Because I know we got bowl games that people are going to be betting, but the marquees are obviously what we're going to be having coming up here to end the week. So what are we thinking here?
I'll give you one. I like Michigan a lot. I like Michigan over Texas. I think these two teams are a lot closer than the betting line reflects. In fact, I have Texas being maybe a 1.5 point favorite on a neutral field. And the big difference between the two teams is the strength of schedule, because Texas has had a top 10 strength of schedule, very respectable strength of schedule. Michigan barely top 30, 2 9-3 teams, but with a different strength of schedule. But the touchdown is just way too much. I'll let you know. I gave it out to my subscribers as a 4%. I think we took Michigan at +8. I thought that was way too high. I get it. A lot of players opting out. We saw that, but that's already factored and baked into the cake. Unless you got information before, you're not getting ahead of anything. That's why everybody, was talking about the players out on Penn State and opting out. And dude, that's already factored into the price. It's already baked. You don't need to DM me to tell me, hey, do you know this about your 5%? I already factored that into that. I know he opted out. I get it. I appreciate having my back and let me know in case I overlooked the starting quarterback's not going to be there. No, just throwing it. It wasn't the starting quarterback, but I got DMs like, hey, this guy's opted out. I thought it's funny. I kind of know. But yeah, don't put too much stock in that. Cause again, unless you got out ahead of it, it's baked into the cake. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Exciting playoffs ahead in college football. Then of course, NFL playoffs.
Love it.
Can you give us a quick Steam report? Any college basketball, NBA, anything that you're seeing up right now before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll give you. I gave out 2 NBA premiums already, a 4% and a 3%. I'll give you the 3%. It's Golden State. It's public too, and it's because it got bet down too low. The overnight was like at 7. It got steamed down. A group took the home dog there with Brooklyn, maybe at 7, but down at 4, we got involved at -4 on Golden State, -3.5 and 4 on Golden State. Here's a couple college basketball for you: 803 Merrimack +2, 859 Yale +16.5, 808 William and Mary -1, 814 Rider +3, 809 Dartmouth +37, 843 St. Peter +3.5, 865 South Dakota State +34. Like I said, it's Monday, but it's been a busy morning and already unloading. Let's close out the year strong by hitting this 5% tonight.
All right, let's get it, Gianni. You and me. Let's reconvene and both celebrating our 5% wins. Tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk.
Good luck, brother. That's what's coming. I can't pull the trigger yet. Within the next 60 minutes, if it's there, it'll be there. Otherwise, I have both packages up, and more importantly, the long-term package. You still have like 48 hours, I think, to use that Xmas 25 for 25% off. Jump on board long-term Steam sheet starting January 1st. Subscribers will get that for free. You'll have all that information each and every day. And again, coming off a solid close to 2028 and excited about 2025 and excited about 2026, getting ahead of myself. So, yeah, good luck to everybody tonight.
Gianni already predicting the future that he's going to have a big 2028. Gianni
I can see it.
Awesome. Nobody better than Gianni to get us started on a Monday, Dan. That's for sure.
No, it gets you jacked up. It would be hilarious if Gianni was like, yeah, I think I'm going to suck next year, but we'll see how it goes. Like, that would be so atypical of Gianni's personality. But, hey, I love turning the page. It's crazy because you always get to start fresh, obviously, with the new calendar of seeing if it was a rough year. Hey, it's bounce back time. If you had a great year, you try and trust the process. You keep on rolling. So that's the time spot that we're in here.
I do want to tell you, I do have a 5% best bet that is up tonight. It's the first prime time 5% best bet I've had all season in the NFL. We just saw the card really well this weekend. Reads were spot on. We hit a 5% yesterday. As you know, Dan, like some weeks you're like, I don't have a good read on this NFL week. We really nailed some of these plays and some of these reads and these free plays and videos that we did. So time to fire a big one tonight. Like I said, we hit our 5% yesterday. So first one of the season for primetime. We're 27-15. Primetime has been good. 5% was good this weekend. Reads were pretty confident. So that's over at wagertalk.com, wt.buzz/A. I believe that's the only play we're going to have up for today. It's the only one we need. So great morning. Cash some darts plays. Cash a big cricket play. I see you guys in the chat.
Saw people in the chat saying, hey, we got our cricket winner last night, back-to-back cricket winners. So only on WagerTalk today. Following a crazy NFL Week 17 Sunday is half of the chat populated with crickets and darts. Hey, we had some bets. You gotta love it.
Dan, I've been watching darts all morning. They've been playing all morning. And when Gianni was doing the steam, when Gianni did the steam report, he said Dartmouth. I immediately went to, darn.
We're like, who got hit in the mouth with a dart? What happened here? Is everything okay?
Yeah, because Aspinall just got steamrolled. All right, let's do some questions. Good week of questions for the NFL.
Yeah.
Week 17.
Copy and pasted the top one, Andy. Copy and pasted the top one.
They did it again. Jets, no interceptions. I got one game left. So Dan, will the Jets finish the year with no interceptions? I think there's a possibility they're facing Mitch Trubisky next week. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, Andy, at this point, this has become now you almost don't want an interception. The Jets have to get in the record book for something. You know what I mean? Why not get in the record book for this? Because it sure ain't going to be winning seasons.
You know what? We've made so much money betting against this Jets team not to have an interception. Let's roll with it next week. I almost hope we get Trubisky because if Josh Allen's playing, then like we're not Like the line's going to be like minus 300. So, all right. Better QB for the Ravens right now, Dan. All of a sudden, they have this really intriguing game. If you are a Ravens fan, if you are a good friend Ariel, do you want Lamar or Huntley right now?
I mean, Lamar Jackson is still Lamar Jackson. We can say that, but the proof is in the pudding, right, Andy? And this season, Lamar Jackson MVP hasn't showed up for all of one or two plays here and there. The dude's clearly injured, number one. Number two, ever since the big blow up on the sideline between him and Harbaugh, this was early on in the year where he's throwing down his helmet, Harbaugh's throwing down his clipboard. It's just been oil and vinegar for those two this entire season. So if you got a guy who can fall in line, put up the points that they put up in Huntley, it's crazy to say, but I would be surprised if Lamar Jackson didn't play this weekend simply because it's a win or go home game. But man, there is something wrong in that locker room between the head coach and that quarterback. Tapping out the way that Lamar kind of did with the back injury. So I'm going to get killed in the comments, but I think Huntley is the proof being in the pudding. Last week they went up against a decent defense in the Packers on the road and were able to put up points.
I think it's Huntley.
Because he can hand it off to Henry. They hand it off to Henry. That's the recipe to success.
Are the Saints the best team in the NFC South right now?
Playing like it.
This is a legit question. This is one we got to pose to Teddy when Teddy comes on here. Are the Saints the best team in the NFC South right now?
Yeah.
I lean no, but the fact that it's a question does not speak well of who's leading this.
Playing for their head coach for sure. They're buying what Kellen Moore's selling, man.
Your team had the most Tango and Cash performance of the season yesterday.
Yeah,
no
baby.
completions in the second half, 17 yards no completions and 17 yards in the second half in a win, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. So I'm asking you, did the Bills peak too early or are the Eagles peaking at the right time, Dan?
I think, watching this team week after week, there's one constant. And there were a lot of people talking about how this paralleled the Philadelphia Eagles 2023 season when they had this super hot start. The bottom fell out. The difference was in 2023, they didn't have Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator. They didn't have this defensive talent that they have with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis just absolutely mucking things up. So this has been the constant for the Philadelphia Eagles is some ineptitude offensively, especially in the play calling department and especially in the offensive line consistency department. However, the one thing that has stayed constant is the defense. And if this defense continues playing the way that they've been playing, you'd like to see that offense come along a little bit, but Andy, they're the first team who not only in the second half did they not, complete a pass to get 17 yards. They don't score a point. Andy, they've done that twice this year, and they won both games. They did the same thing against the Bucs. I mean, if Vic Fangio doesn't walk into the office and say, "Hey, I need a raise next year, Jeff Lurie," and put those two games and say, "That's why," I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice, old Vicky.
They're the best. And finally, Steelers. Is that the most inexcusable loss of this year in the NFL?
I mean, there's been a lot of them, Andy. I don't know if it's the most inexcusable loss, but playing against the Browns team with a rookie quarterback, all in the world to gain, setting it up. I will say, Andy, some missed pass interference calls in that game. You can't put it all on the Steelers, but yeah, it's pretty awful loss for them, man.
All right. So those are the questions. Let us know in the comments section which one which one you like. So Phoenix Sundust, put in the chat Appalachian State +10. If you want to have some fun, Phoenix Dust, I'll go head to head with you. I'll take Georgia Southern -10. Just let me know in the chat if you want to go head to head. We'll bet a 3-day pass on it. So let me know if you're still around and you want to go have a little fun little head to head for this afternoon's bowl game. Let's go to where the books won and where the public won. The Bucks minus the points. Books won big. Broncos minus the points. Books won big. The Bucks won big on this Baltimore Green Bay game. That was where they did well. And where the public won, Seattle Carolina under. Giants minus the point. Just fading the Raiders. I heard John Murray say he's like, we need the Raiders. again. Like every week, we need the Raiders, and it hasn't been working. Patriots minus the points, and the hapless Jets, and then the Cowboys minus the points. So, all right, let's go to some prop winners and guys that won some fantasy. Derrick Henry was the big story. The problem is, I don't think he was in many championships. I don't think he made it to that.
That's a good point, because if you've been rolling with Derrick Henry all year long, you probably didn't make it because he's been not great.
Yeah. Christian Watson was good. Zach Charbonnet had the big one. Drake May, just absolutely huge. Jalen McMillan for the Bucks, and Chris Godwin. Of course, we'll get to the losers in that game. Parker Washington was huge. Tyler Shuck and Chris Olave, they've got something special going. I want to bring up Cam Ward because he's not been playing that bad. He's gotten better over the course of a season. He's on a bad team. He's at least getting better. I just shout out Cam Ward. I think his season's being swept under the rug a little bit. Chase Brown continues to be a prop machine. Michael Wilson has won many leagues. I'm sure Joe Burrow is huge tomorrow. Chase, and then Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the late addition. If you were smart enough to get Krosky-Merritt when they ruled out Rodriguez, you probably won your league because of him. And then the big losers, Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely nuked your fantasy teams and props down this. Justin Jefferson, probably the worst healthy draft pick in the first round. Mike Evans was terrible. Jalen Waddle was awful. And I think Jalen Waddle, would he have 9 snaps? Thanks very much. And Jaylen Warren was not very good. So, all right. So those are your prop fantasy football winners and losers. Let's bring on Bill Krackomberger. Bill, happy Monday. Hope everything's going well for you, sir.
Yeah, hi. What's going on, guys? No, I had a good week. And you know, it's just a good family week, and I was out of town. Besides getting bit by a dog, everything else is
Bit by a dog. What was it?
And I'm a dog
bad?
person. I love dogs. Andy knows
Me
that.
too.
We're all dog people.
And I was protecting one of the other dogs, one of the little 4-pound dogs, and a 30-pound dog was charging at him, and I figured it'd get in the way. Well, I probably saved the other dog though, but the dog bit me. Yeah, it happens. 2 gashes on my leg, but I'm okay. But
jeez, the one week you come on with the injured eye, now you're getting dog attack. Bill, we need you healthy, man. You stay out of harm's way. Thank you for protecting the other dog, but be careful, buddy. Come on, man. We need you here.
Yeah, everything was good. Great week on WagerTalk again. 16-8, plus 11 units. And people will say, well, how can you be plus 11 units? Well, because you're betting more on NFL props that I tell you to bet more than sides and totals. You're betting more on that than you're betting on college basketball or anything else, other sports. You have to go unit size. There is stronger plays than other plays. So, and listen, had a great football season. I've been telling people every week in this spot and on many spots on WagerTalk, get with me for a full season, get with me till the end of Super Bowl, and those people have prospered and they know what we have done. So, it's been those NFL props we're going to win on them, but you have to have Caesars, MGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, or some of the local shops that may offer props, player props, because that's what it's going to be, player props. So, but most of them do, but they're going to limit you after a while, and people know. But you're going to play your own stuff too. So, not making fun of anybody, but you're going to play your own stuff, your stuff that you come up with. You're on your own. So that mixed in with the player props, and I bet a first half yesterday that won. So you're going to bet. I give out first halves. So we were on a roll on first halves, and even sides this year up a little bit. I don't really bet too many sides. Maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 a month. Not a lot. It could have been a disaster because the guy that I have followed, I just smelt a rat, and he has won every year, and he's losing this year. But I got off him real early, like the second week. I said, let me just sit and watch the third week. So he's down about 15 units for the year. He's won every single year that I followed him. He has won. So he's one of our originators, but he does other things too. But his NFL has been so good. And last year I made money on him. The year before, made a few bucks. I said, you know what? I'll start giving this stuff out. And thank God I only gave it out week 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because I rebounded from that. And I have some other sources also. So yeah, things are good, having a good season. Like I said, though, I'll say it now, I'll say it at the end of my spot here. You got to get on for a month. Super Bowl, Super Bowl is only 6 weeks away. People say, what? No way. Yeah, it's like less than 6 weeks away. You want to get on for a package like that. You want to get on for the props.
Exactly.
Super Bowl props, college football. We've had our best season in college football that I've had in a long time. Rolling along there, it's been really good. College basketball turned around a couple games last week, so we're gonna have some good stuff there. And you have to just have your alerts on. What's the word? Notifications. You have to have your notifications on. If you don't have your email notifications on when it comes to certain lines, maybe not the props so much so, but because there's so many different spots and they're slower to move props too. But for college basketball, stuff like that, you want to have your notifications on. You want to get those bets in as quick as possible because a lot of my stuff does move the market. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, and you have to be quick with it because like you said, in those volatile markets, they'll move like at the drop of a hat. Once Bill throws his bets in and then they see, all these accounts following him, throwing him in. I mean, Andy runs into the same thing in the prop market. And we do got prop plays. We're going to have a free prop play coming up for you from Bill Krackomberger. But first, Bill, Opening Line Report is the show that goes live before this with Teddy Covers, Kelly in Vegas, and they take a look at, hey, here's what the opening lines are. Here's where we think they may be moving. Here's what I would bet now. And one thing that Teddy said that I wanted to get your thoughts on, and we got Teddy coming up here to wrap the show as well. He mentioned how week 18, you can almost liken it to like week 3 of the NFL preseason, where there's a lot of players who aren't going to be in. It's guessing who's going to be in, who's going to be out, who has motivation, who's playing for what. How do you kind of navigate week 18? Because Teddy put it perfectly. He said, this is a minefield week. Is it a lower volume week? Is it reading a lot of press clippings? Is it following people that you trust? How do you attack a week that very is unique, where there's a lot of teams who don't have much to play for? Maybe they're even playing to lose in the case of the Raiders, shutting players down, things like that. When week 18 rolls around and it's question marks galore and then teams with major motivation, how does Bill Krackomberger bet it?
Well, it's funny because last night, of course, I'm on Sunday night betting things, and I can't release them to WagerTalk or the public because it's not fair. I don't do that. I can pad my record by releasing Baltimore Ravens -3, -110. It's at Circa only, or it's at Westgate only, or it's at DraftKings only. I don't do that shit. I give you something that's obtainable. So, but I know a lot of people that want to sell do that on other sites. I see it terribly with little obscure books. You might as well say, bet this with the old lady on Arthur Avenue that runs the hot dog cart. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. So, but last night was a very unusual week 18 for me. Very unusual last week of football. I know we're going to get the moves, and I know I'm going to beat the market. And I will give you guys some. So the Ravens -3, -110 was a real play last night. I bet it at Westgate, I believe. Yeah, Westgate, I bet it at for their max bet. And it moves to 3.5 there. It moved to, I also laid the -160 money line at BetMGM. I found a really good money line there. I like the Ravens over them. There's some -3, -20s out there. But then again, I'll bet more on it. I'll try to bet more on an NFL prop than I will this. So, but here's the unusual thing. There was 2 plays last night. There was the Jets +13 and Arizona +13.5 versus the Rams. Well, normally, and okay, now that I see the line movement this morning, I jumped on it for a peanut, just based on, all right, I'm going to get some line value here because the other teams aren't going to play their starters and stuff. So I just didn't know they moved to like 9. They moved 4.5 points. Yeah. They're up at a max bet because -9 +13.5 is a good bet. -9.5 +13 I'm looking at is a good bet. But here's the thing: the Jets are so terrible they could still easily get blown out. Easily. Dumpster fire of an organization. I usually don't say that. I'm a math guy. I'm an algorithm guy. I'm a model guy. It's driven by the number, and the number means everything. This was a little unusual last night. I was almost forced into taking the Jets +13 at the one spot that had it here. and I was just feel uncomfortable even though the line moved 4 points now. I do. I don't. And same thing with Arizona. Maybe not as bad as the Jets, but they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. So
yeah,
either team can get blown out. So how do I feel about that? Well, I was ahead of the numbers. That's one thing.
Yeah,
I'm going to be ahead of the marketplace, but I feel more confident in the Ravens play, even though the Ravens play really didn't move, than I do the Jets or Arizona.
Yep.
So they're just some of the moves that I was involved in last night.
Yeah, and it's really almost like you're with these kind of things. It feels like bowl season almost. You're navigating who the hell is going to be playing, who the hell cares. So interesting stuff there, Bill. Before we turn you loose, we get some thoughts on what you have up here at WagerTalk.com. WT.buzz/BK is where you can get there quicker. Free player prop for the folks. What are we doing? Are we going to hoops? Are we on the hardwood? Are we going to the gridiron tonight? What do you got for the folks here? A little free play.
Just want to make sure people know I bet my own money on these. This is my MGM account. As you can see, Ravens minus 160. I also bet the Bengals minus 7. I don't know what that line is now. Under 40.5 in the Jets game for whatever the max bets were. Their max bets are a little bit lower, for that night. Sunday night's definitely a more sensitive area for max bets. And you're asking me what I had up tonight. Did you ask me about the NBA props that we asked me? I apologize.
Yeah, I would. We'll talk about what you got up before we turn you loose here. I just wanted to get your thoughts. What do we got for the NBA prop?
Yeah,
People love these free plays, man.
I have an NBA prop for you guys. I just made sure that they had the line there too, and I hate to give out a line that's not obtainable. Matter of fact, we'll even say 36.5 or 30, good to 37.5. How about that? The Knicks, Anthony Towns. To go over a big number. I know it's a big number. 36.5 minus 15, I'm seeing up to 37.5 minus 110 as points and rebounds. Knicks are without John Hart and Robinson tonight. Pelicans are one of the worst teams against big men. And look at this total. It was like 243 or something. Like a high total. Towns should have plenty of opportunities for scoring and rebounds. So let's go over Towns on his points and rebounds tonight. There's a play. That's something I adjusted to, too. I was always an under guy. Now I'm still an under guy. NFL props, player props, I still bet about 70% player props under. 60 to 70, I would say. But I was more like an 80, 90% under. I've adjusted a little bit because the books have over-adjusted in certain areas. So, but yeah, there's an over for you guys for tonight's NBA game.
Cat going over and giving you some parameters there on what it's good up to. That's Bill Krackomberger. Bill, what do you got over at your page? Obviously, incredible follow. Even before he was at Wager Talk, I think all of us have been following at Bill Crackman. So check him out on social. Bill, what do you got over at your page? WT.buzz/BK.
And I do. I have the socials where I talk common sense and all my shows. I try to. I'm real spontaneous. There's nothing prepared. It's even when I do my show in Boston, spontaneous. My show at John Orlando, very spontaneous. John's a degenerate gambler. He admits it. So I could pick on him, and he's relatable to a lot of the public. My show with Kelly in Vegas, I have no idea. We're getting ready to do a show today. I don't know what it's about. I have no, whatever she asks, bang, we go with. It's spontaneous. Now, over to the Wager Talk page. Yeah, again, I said it at the beginning. I'll say it again. You guys should sign up with me for more than a week. Even though we've won almost every week in the NFL, we've really had a spectacular season here, including last week plus 11 units. I would sign up for a month. Sign up, email the girls. Sign up to the end of the Super Bowl. Make sure you get those Super Bowl props, playoff props, Super Bowl props. Let me be blunt. I haven't bet anything yet. Week 18 props, you want to be on these because I'm not the guy that's going to tell you, hey, this incentive, you want to play this because of the incentive for him to score. He's going to make money. That's already baked in the line. We know that. There'll be times that I'll actually bet against that because they overmove the line so much. A guy's, gets 25 yards all year long, and now he's lined at 39 because he has an incentive. There'll be a lot of times there where I'll go against the grain there. Great information for Week 18. Like I said, going into the playoffs, I would sign up for, like I said, up till Super Bowl. Get all the Super Bowl props in.
That's Bill Krackomberger. Big ups, man. Enjoy your show with KIV, and we'll see you next week. Bill Crackman is where you can follow him on Twitter. And Andy, also want to mention that Xmas25 code, XMAS25. Believe it's going to be live through the end of the day today, maybe. So it's a great 25% off anything, even discounted packages already. So you can use that code Xmas25 at checkout at anyone's page, and it's a damn good deal, Andy.
You know how we intro the show and we say we talk the talk and walk the walk. Shout out to Phoenix Dust. Phoenix Dust has accepted the offer. So we're gonna have a little.
We got a head to head.
We got a head to head. So it's gonna be in this Georgia Southern App State. Phoenix Dust has App State +10. I get Georgia Southern -10. I believe there's just too many opt-outs for App State. I don't even think they knew they were playing in a bowl game. They have a losing record, but they didn't have anybody else to play. So by the time they had got around to saying you're in the bowl, people had opted out, coaches had left. So I'm going to lay the -10 here. But shout out to you, Phoenix. Shout out to you, Phoenix. It takes a lot to come on and make a bet with the.
If Andy's side covers here, he gets a 3 free day access, and if your side wins, then he'll be purchasing the access. I like it. We got to make it official. Whenever we go head to head with the chat, the boxing bell must be rung. So the official bet has been made, and also, guys, commenting and being a part of the show is huge. Commenting after the show is just as big. And one of the things that we do with Teddy Covers, who's coming up here in just a second, is we do this Sell Me segment. It's an incredible segment. Look forward to it. Everybody loves it in the office. Everybody on the show loves it. We look forward to it. Where Andy and Teddy, they get 2 random NFL sides. And I think we're going to try and continue this, maybe the NBA season, something like that, with you and Teddy, as we have them on with a little more regularity here. But we break it down, and you guys decide, who do you agree with? Who do you disagree with? And all you do is you comment with your username as well. And we got a winner. That's right. He did it correct. Andy, after we explained how to do it, we had the most proper entries in the history of doing the Sell Me segment. We had
did it.
Dozens and dozens and dozens. Cranon won. You're going to be the winner, and we have your username, so that's going to be in your account here once we get a chance to chat with customer service. So congratulations, and it's that easy to win here, man. All you do, you enjoy, and even just commenting here live on the show, Andy, a guy has a chance to win a 3 free day pass to Andy Lang's access. So we love doing it here for you folks. We're trying to build a community, and that goes a long way. We appreciate you chiming in, man.
Well, let's bring on Teddy. Teddy's the reason why Cranon won. Congratulations, Teddy.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations, Teddy. That was a big one. I don't know if you heard, we do, everybody, we do questions coming out of the NFL week. And the question I want to get your take, are the Saints the best team in the NFC South right now?
So I had to go to my power ratings to get the numbers. And I have all 4 NFC South teams priced right now within a 1.5 of each other. They're all the same.
Wow.
They're all the same.
It's crazy because think about how in the beginning of the season, Tampa Bay, they were come from behind kings. You have the MVP favorite, Baker Mayfield. That's ancient history. We're talking about the Saints, who were projected to be one of, if not the worst team in the league this year, being priced within a 1.5 of someone who had an MVP candidate earlier in the season. That's wild, Teddy. But that's what your eyes are saying too.
The Saints started 2-10, man. So my clients and I made money with them. I had a 5% big ticket with New Orleans yesterday, and what they did yesterday. So count me in as a Saints believer in that regard. Whereas I wasn't earlier season. But any opinion you have, you got to be ready to change it when the facts change on the ground. And New Orleans was a team that earlier season we wanted to bet against. This part of the year, not so much. Now, obviously, we got a 5% big ticket with them. But the fact that they were able to go on the road, get slapped around early, and still find a way to rally to win the game, and overcome adversity in the rally. I don't know if they turn the ball over in the red zone before the game-winning touchdown, before the other touchdown to tack on to cover the point spread. So, it's the fact that all the teams are equal and my power ratings are close to equal. Really, current form. New Orleans probably should be higher.
Agreed.
So I have Teddy. I have an ongoing part. I have the Saints under 6.5 wins And as of 4 weeks ago, all I needed for them to lose one game against the Bucks, Panthers, Jets, Titans, or Falcons. Now I'm down to the last freaking leg. I do see that the Falcons are favorites next week.
So note that you're at under 6.5 wins. I'm looking at the Westgate Superbook sheet from August right here, and it has their opening numbers, their current numbers. Their number for the Saints is 5. They've already cast the over 5. So
amazing.
That line variance doesn't matter what we're talking about. You could talk about futures for the winning the World Series. You could talk about NFL's season win totals. You could talk about week in, week out. Line variance, the ability to cash a bet that other people aren't going to cash. It makes a big difference to your bottom line. Having all those outs makes all the difference.
Well, I think that's one thing, obviously we got free plays coming up here. We're going to talk this Rams and Falcons game. Teddy has an NBA doubleheader. But one of the first things that I learned since working behind the scenes here with WagerTalk, Teddy, was with something that you've always preached, and it is casual bettor. It doesn't matter. The half points will be the difference between you being a winning or losing bettor long term. And I think that's one thing that recreational bettors really need to drill home is, yes, have more outs. Yes, have this, but if you can have the difference between a half point and even 5 cents of juice here and there, that's one of the most important parts of being a better recreational or professional, correct?
So I moved to Vegas in '98, and I was as square as square could be. If back in the day, I was like anybody else. And I'm like, I'm going to come into Vegas and kick ass, and I did. I had success early on, but lots of lessons you learn lots of lessons by getting punched in the face by them. And the half point lesson is one that I learned early on. Hey, you should have gone across the street and gotten the 3.5, and instead you took a 3, and now you got to push instead of a win. The lessons you get punched in the face with stay with you. And obviously I've been doing this full time. It's getting close to 30 years now. So I know there are many bettors out there who are just learning these lessons like I was 30 years ago. And I get it. And it doesn't happen automatically. A lot of times you do. I keep on hitting myself in the face today because it's making for good TV and it's making Lang laugh.
Literally.
Like that's a part of the process is getting punched and realizing that frickin' sucked. That didn't have to happen. Let's figure out how not to get kicked in the balls next time.
Well said. Very well said. Let's talk this Monday night football game real quick. You can check out Teddy on Opening Line Report. Fantastic show today. I watched the whole thing. I always do. I watch it live while I'm getting ready for the show. So, how do you break down this game tonight? What was your take on this one?
So I got a free play video on this game on my homepage on WagerTalkWT.buzz/TC. I got a free play up, obviously, on YouTube for this game. And if you haven't subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, now's a great time to do so. Approaching 250,000 subscribers, guys. Why? Because it's freaking good content every single day, and it's free. But I made a case for the over in this contest. And let's start with the LA piece of the equation. The Rams offense has gained 500 yards in each of the last 3 weeks. All right. In the NFL, it's hard to gain 500 yards any week. And when you do it 3 weeks in a row, late season, with all the injuries, with the fact that Devontae Adams is hurt, with the other issues that they've had, it speaks volumes about how comfortable Matthew Stafford is and what Sean McVay's doing in terms of the play calling. This is a really tough offense to stop, and they're absolutely clicking on all cylinders. Look at Seattle's defense and look what LA did to Seattle's defense last week. It's certainly a Rams team that you have to take seriously as a Super Bowl contender, and an offense that is clicking every way an offense can click. They can run, they can pass. They're not turning the ball over. The offensive line play is there, et cetera, et cetera. And Atlanta, certainly on the defense side of the football, is not one of the teams you're like, oh, yeah, the Falcons' defense is great. It's not. On the other side of the equation, Rams' defense is pretty darn good. But they're coming off a game. They were on the field, 84 plays against Seattle? I know they had a little bit extra rest, but I worry about it when teams are on the field, when the players are on the field for that many plays in one game. There's often exhale the next contest. And when you're talking about the Falcons, with their key skill position players healthy, the Bijan Robinsons of the world, the Drake Londons of the world, the Kyle Pittses of the world, when that trio is healthy, this is a really good offense. You look at the numbers they put up of late, and all they're doing is moving up and down the field. I do worry a little bit about Cousins against the pass rush, because Cousins is not exactly very mobile of late at this stage of his career. But I think the Falcons can get their fair share as well. I don't know if we're going to see 80 points like we did last night in San Fran, but I think we'll see over 49 and a half over Falcons and Rams Monday Night Football.
Moving on to NBA. I always love talking NBA with Teddy. There's this phrase, I think it's overused, like two teams going in opposite directions. But when we're talking the Cavs and the Spurs, Teddy, we have two teams going in opposite directions. So I've been watching a lot of both of these teams. They face off tonight. So what's your take overall on these teams? And then more specifically, what's your take on this game tonight?
I've been watching a lot of NBA as well, and watching both of these teams. San Antonio's made me a lot of money. One game they did not make me money was their last time against Cleveland, where the Cavs blew them off the floor, and I had them that night as well. I've been looking back the Spurs as dogs, and the Spurs are making me good money as dogs, and the Spurs step up in class really well. And I don't know if De'Aaron Fox is playing for San Antonio tonight. And you talk about impact players. I get it, Wemby. He's an impact player, admittedly. De'Aaron Fox is the guy that the Spurs have with the ball in his hands in the last 5 minutes of all tight games. All right, he's their closer. He's their playmaker down the stretch. He's instant offense. He makes the right decisions. That's what they brought him there for. And when Fox isn't in the game, it's a big loss for San Antonio, which is a concern for me here. And, of course, the Spurs off the NBA Cup win. They're coming off a game in which they basically no-showed in a very real way, losing at home to Utah. It was the first loss all season against a team that was below 500. Cavs aren't below 500. The Cavs have had all kinds of issues this year. Obviously, the team chemistry hasn't been there. They battled it. They battled injuries from the get-go. And my first lean, I had the Spurs on my short list today. And then I saw the Fox injury, and then that's one check against. And then I started reading the quotes from Cleveland after the last loss, the game in which they, too, got absolutely annihilated in a no-show against Houston. And the quotes from Kenny Atkins after that game was, I knew this game was over in the first quarter. We didn't show up. We can't do that. There's a different level of urgency for Cleveland than there is for San Antonio tonight. And the initial lean towards the Spurs, when you get the Fox injury, when you get the urgency for Cleveland, that initial lean is now no way I lay with San Antonio in this ballgame. It's Cavs or pass. And from my perspective, when I start on one side and then the facts point me to the other side, I tend to leave those games alone. It's not a client play for me. You get really frustrated when you started this way, and then the research takes you that way, and then this way covers, or vice versa. You're like, oh, I lean that way. And so when you have a game where my initial reaction is, oh, look, my powering number was higher than the 3.5 now. My initial lean is towards the Spurs, but I ain't getting there. Given the situation, I'm not going to flip and go the other way. It's a pass for me, but I can certainly understand why Cleveland has taken the money they've taken overnight in an early betting action today. There's urgency for the Cavs right now. And Kenny Atkinson made that very clear after their no-show against the Rockets on Saturday, whenever day that was.
It'll never happen. They will never commit to it, but I will pound the desk and say Wemby should be coming off the bench.
Okay.
This team is so good when Wemby comes off the bench, and all of a sudden the backups are going up against Wemby. So, but I know they're not going to do that. All right, we move on to the Mavs and the Trail Blazers. It's weird. Their records are pretty similar, but you would say that the Blazers are kind of maybe overachieving a little bit based on expectation. The Mavs are underachieving. This Mavericks team is kind of in an interesting spot. Anthony Davis is hurt again, of course. I think Cooper Flagg's having a really underrated year. He's gotten a lot better. I love watching him. He's going to be the real deal. This draft class was insane. This draft class has got all the potential in the world to be big timers here. But what do you make of this Mavs and Blazers game? Two interesting teams.
So Prez always complains that I never bitch at anyone else the way I bitch at him. You really think do you really think that Cooper Flagg is underrated right now? Cooper Flagg is a shoe-in to win every award. He's been lead story on SportsCenter over and over. Cooper Flagg's getting nothing but hype.
Oh, wow. I always hear it about Harper. I hear it about, Edgecombe's been out a little bit. So, all right, maybe I think that because of the record, the Mavs are not taken that serious. So, but maybe I've overstated that. But
it's like vintage wager talk today, Teddy, right there. Vintage wager. Longtime viewers of the show are like, hell yeah, Teddy's.
Yeah, I'm flicking him. But yeah, so I think that Cooper Flagg is shoo-in for Rookie of the Year, shoo-in for everything. He's been the best. I mean, for as well as Edgecombe and Castle and all that have played, Cooper Flagg's the guy, and he's showing it at the NBA level right now. That being said, Portland's a really interesting team to talk about for a second of back-to-backs. Last year, the Blazers had 13 back-to-backs. They went 11, 1, and 1 against the spread in those back-to-backs. The single best team in the league, and it wasn't close. It really wasn't. The number 2 team had 5 losses. So here we are. You say, oh, that was kind of an anomaly. That wasn't anything real. All right, just one of those years. What do we have this year? Guess who the best team in the NBA is with no rest this year? The Portland Trail Blazers. 5 tries, 4 point spread coverage, 80% ATS in this role. They've been really, really good in situations where they're playing without rest. And they're a youthful team. They're an energetic team. We expect that sort of thing from teams like Portland, and Dallas isn't necessarily that. That being said, every Blazer starter played 30-plus minutes last night, all right? And when you talk about the key guys for Portland, all right, you know, the injuries that matter for the Blazers, Jeremy Grant is one of those key guys. And Jeremy Grant, I have a hard time putting my money on the Blazers when Grant is not in the lineup. Grant is not expected to play this evening. That being said, Dallas isn't very good, you know, and we're seeing that pretty clearly. And now Anthony Davis has been shut down for the indefinite future. And given Portland's track record in these back-to-backs, given the fact that even without Grant in the lineup, it's a Mavericks team that hasn't necessarily, you know, I'll just put it this way. I can only play Portland given that back-to-back track record. I'm not excited about playing Portland because Grant's in the lineup. But the Blazers, of these two teams right now, I think Portland is the more undervalued of the two commodities. And particularly in the back-to-back settings where they've been great, there you can perhaps find some extra value with the Blazers in that regard.
Yeah, you're right. Cooper Flagg, I'm looking right now, minus 525 Rookie of the Year. I guess I was not aware of it. I've been paying attention to the Con Knipples and Edgecombs, and Derek Queen looks like he's good. Harper looks good, but you're right. I stand here corrected. So
it's okay.
Well, the thing is, I can't get mad. I can't get in arguments on these shows. So if you're hoping for a heated argument between Teddy and me, I probably am not going to contribute a whole lot to that. So
closest we get is sell me.
yeah. All those heated sell me segments. Teddy, it's a great Monday. You crushed opening line report. What do you have up for clients?
Yeah, right now, I just a single play in the NBA up for tonight. I want to go through the college hoops card one more time. There was something that stood out to me that I haven't had time to go through right now, but hopefully we'll have some college hoops up as well. I do have the single NBA best bet. Running good in NBA again, guys. You know, NBA's been my sport, long-term, short-term, however you want to put it. 71% run over the last 10 days, and obviously number one at WagerTalk since 2022. Single best bet on my homepage right now, wt.buzz/TC.
Teddy covers. Always love talking NBA, any sports with you. Thank you so much for jumping in and subbing. So appreciate you. If Andy argues with you, he has to hate you. Maybe. I mean, no, that is probably true. If I get in a really heated argument, there's definitely some hatred. So
you're a cooler heads will prevail kind of guy. You know what I mean? I feel like it's unless it's I could see something with a production company being like, what the hell is wrong? I feel like that's where the fire would come out for Andy. You know what I mean?
See, I have to be the cooler head because my business partner is the one that goes ballistic.
See, that's important. Yeah, exactly.
So, a couple takeaways real quick, and then we got some free plays. So Bill was showing us here's the bets, and that's one of the most common questions. Do you guys bet your bets? I made the mistake one time on social media of trying to show bet slips, and that was a failed experiment. Never ever do that on social media. Maybe here on the show, I've showed myself holding some paper tickets from Caesars. But if you want to see the most venomous trolls come out, show your bet slips on social media. That was a 2 or 3 day mistake. I thought it would like make me look, a little bit more official and like, oh, I'll prove everybody wrong. I do bet those, but bad idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Question here from Dan Russell. This is like a prop that you're able to play as squares on things like Underdog Fantasy or Prize Picks, those types. The regulated sports books, they're not really doing stuff on the fantasy point totals with regularity. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I know it's an offering on things like Prize Picks, like Underdog Sports. So there's your answer for you, Dan.
Yeah, and it's not available in every state, so you have to be in the right
exactly.
State. You're in a
like
tough spot.
That's one of the things for what it's worth. Like betting out west when I'm here in California, like one of the things that I can do is do those fantasy games as it's not legal here for any other sports betting. So yeah, it's a state by state basis. Like if you're in Pennsylvania, you can't do Prize Picks. You drive over the state line in New Jersey, you can.
That's crazy. All right, let's do WTF. LFG, and then we'll do all around the world. What prop do you got for us?
All right, I got one that I have a feeling I'm going to get hit with some WTFs here because the numbers maybe don't quite back up the play, but I think situationally it does. Now, Andy, let's recap real quick. We're going to grade the Saquon bet as a loss. The last WTF LFG was his longest rush attempt over, and we had 15.5, we had 16.5, and we agreed, hey, let's call it 16.5. Use the higher number in case people didn't want to lay the juice with the 15.5. He ends up with 16, Andy. So if you're wondering how important the half points are, he ends up with 16, and we'll grade it as a loser. So 7-4, still winning, and we have hit any time we've given out a plus money prop here on the show, and that's what we're doing. Andy, Matt Stafford to throw an interception. We're looking at plus 135. Here's the reasoning for me. This Falcons team, they pride themselves on the takeaway ability. And now there's only been 5 times this year that they haven't gotten an interception in action, and 3 straight games they've forced an interception in those games. Now for Stafford, MVP favorite, largely due to the fact he's not turning the ball over. He only has 5 interceptions on the season. However, 2 of those came with a common opponent here, and that's the Panthers. It was a 2 interception in the road loss, and pay attention to that road part of the equation, because the 5 picks that Stafford has on the year, 4 of them have come in road games. I don't know how much motivation there's going to be. Does Stafford even play this whole game? Maybe not. That could be why we're seeing that plus money. I think the bigger reason why we're getting plus 135 on this is because he just hasn't been throwing interceptions. But if the Falcons want to make this, fun spoiler game at home for people, it's largely going to do to what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. I'm taking a shake of the cat. Plus 135, Matt Stafford interception, Andy. We fading or following this one?
Compelling case, good price. I am going to fade this one. I will not bet it though, because I don't want to lay that.
Well, we're going to argue, Andy. No, I'm just kidding. So what's the thought behind the fade? Because I guarantee you there aren't going to be many people trailing.
Yeah. I would say a heavy rush attack. Will Stafford play the whole game tonight? Unless it's an absolute massacre, yes, he will play. I think I read something that don't the Rams have like the Falcons pick? I think let me look at that. There could be a little.
I think
extra
that does
motivation.
sound, that is exactly the case, because I remember, I forget which game was it. It was when they were playing the Cardinals, and the talk was the Atlanta Falcons will somehow screw this up, or the Cardinals will screw this up where they'll beat the Falcons, so it's actually making the Rams pick better, and the Rams who are already owning the division. So yes, the Rams do own the Atlanta Falcons pick, so that could be a little. Hey, enjoy this lower pick. We're going to get this win.
Yeah, I think this is a heavy rush attack. I think Blake Corum, Kyron Williams, Stafford plays it safe. I love Andrew's take that they could run the ball down to the 10-yard line, and then Stafford throws touchdowns to boost his MVP. I'm going to slightly lean to the WTF. I'm fading this one, Dan.
I'll allow it. And honestly, the WTF fades have gone well for us. Matt Stafford interception, follower fade, comment below. Plus 135 is the price that I am seeing. And Andy, people can't worry. We still got the lovely segment where we get multiple plays from Andy, and that is all around the world. But first, Andy, remind people again, the primetime record has been sick, and we're rocking a 5%er with the team tonight.
Yeah, 27-15 in NFL primetime bets, and it's our first 5% primetime NFL bet of the season. And we had good reads yesterday. We hit our 5% in the NFL yesterday, and you just have some really good vibes coming into this week. We hit the overnight cricket play, 3-1 on darts play. So feeling really good, feeling really confident. So WT.buzz/AL. It's the only play we're going to have tonight. All the other ones have cashed this morning. So 5% best bet. If you cashed with us yesterday, listen, if you cashed with us yesterday, it's pretty much state law. You have to jump on board tonight. It takes some of those winning. You're not going to leave your boy hanging.
Roll it over.
Think of how pissed you're going to be if it hits and you missed out. So, all right, let's do all around the world. Let's give some free plays for the people. Prop heavy here. Raptors Magic Manuel quickly over 9.5 rebounds plus assist. He's gone over in 5 out of the last 6 games. He's playing 32 minutes. The Magic give up 15 rebounds, assists to point guards. Pirtle's still out. RJ Barrett's back, but he's playing limited minutes, so there's a lot of stats still available for the Raptors starters. That Spurs Cavs game that Teddy just talked about, I think we just need to play Luke Cornett over his points. He's 9-4 to the over with Wemby in the lineup. And when he's coming off the bench, he gets to go up against the backups. He's getting 22 minutes per game. He's shooting 70% from the field because all of his shots are right at the rim. He's a decent free throw shooter. So, I think with Wemby in the lineup, we go Cornett over his points. And we will go with a prop tonight. I like Kirk Cousins over his passing. I got 226.5. Rams have given up 270 plus the last 3 starting quarterbacks. Cousins has gone over in 2 out of his last 4. And for the season, the Rams are 23rd against the pass, 11th against the run. This could look like a mirror image of that Tampa Bay game where Cousins had to come from behind, got in a shootout. He threw for 373. So maybe take a sprinkle on Kirk Cousins over his passing yards. So that was one I was bummed I did not ladder that thing up against Tampa. I was like, what if Cousins goes off? Like I didn't think you could have bet 400 yards.
What happens? Yeah.
Yes. So and yes, the 5% yesterday was Trevor Lawrence over his passing yards, even with Sauce Gardner back in the lineup. This is a Colts secondary that can absolutely be exploited. So
poor Sauce Gardner. He goes from a 1-17 and then he joins the Colts, and the Colts go 1-7 since he got there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, by the way, do you have that slide of that I sent this morning of the betting stats? We didn't do the betting stats.
Yeah, let's pull that up on the way out. Yeah,
let's pull that up. This is just some fun facts and stats for you guys. Yeah. The Cowboys, why couldn't we have picked up on this earlier? Cowboys are 15-1 to the over in the first half.
You'd be retired, Andy.
I know. Jets, we already went over 0 interceptions. Ja'Cory Roski, Merritt, Trevor Lawrence, and Tyler Algier, they all have more rushing touchdowns than Bijan. Good Lord. Chiefs are now 1-6 ATS on the road. And the Saints, who are going to kill my season with totals if they win next week, they are a putrid 2-13 in the first quarter spread. So even though they won yesterday, Dan, that was against the Titans. They were struggling against the Titans. I don't think I'm going to hedge, man. I don't think I'm going to hedge.
No, you can't. You let that shit ride.
Falcons are playing.
The Falcons are playing. The Falcons are going to be playing their players, and the Falcons are favorites in that game. So
absolutely.
If you really want to, take a little plus money.
I could hedge out of a little bit. I'll wait.
Or you know what, Friday. Andy, find something you like in a teaser leg. Take the Saints up to 8.5. You know what I mean? And then you're just like, I'm happy either way.
PZ saying cash out. Well, I gotta
never cash out. If you're gonna do something, hedge. Don't ever take the cash out price.
Yeah, I know. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. What an incredible Monday show. Shout out to the guests. You guys brought the energy. We went long, but yeah, this was a great show. So we got darts we're watching today. We're watching this App State, Georgia Southern. Myself and Phoenix Dust are, and we're going to do the same thing tomorrow. It's a big day and night of bets. Yes, let's go. Let's go. We got a 3-day pass going out tomorrow. So we're going to be back tomorrow. We got a great lineup tomorrow. Get you ready for all of Tuesday's action. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment below. And as always, subscribe.